Good morning, King of Avalon. Hope all of you are doing well. I've been actually quite busy this weekend. It's Sunday. Friday went out of town on a trip, still on the trip. But I thought I'd post a little video about Conquest. Not that we're in first place or scored a lot of points, but I made some interesting observations. I wanted to give a shout out to particularly Unicorns Rock 396. Usually I'm scoring about maybe minimum 600k plus points. But again, I haven't been on, but that's not the purpose of this video. So if you could see here, well, let's look back at here. We are 6th. So I think a lot of our players haven't been active, but this Conquest points is a lot closer than other conquests. So I think everybody's been relatively active. I think this is also demonstrative of somewhat of an equalization of power. I noticed that some of our core members were noting that it was, Conquest wasn't so easy, and I think as maybe the spenders spent the mid-level spenders kind of decide to slow down. KOA gives easier access to things that once cost more, discounted rates. So I think the mid to lower spenders are spending and probably equalizing power. But what I wanted to note was a couple things about 396, and it's really a shout out to them. The first thing is, well, actually, this is a shout out for 505. I was actually sitting on a tower and I went off for a couple hours and I saw that they rallied me. Now you can see here that my troops loss was a lot less, and theirs, of course, they rallied me. And the point is, I mean, obviously you can look at the stats. Mine are all green, and that's not the point. So obviously, it's unlikely that someone would leave a march there and let the rally hit. Maybe, maybe not. But I did because I was off game. But the highest tiered troops that had were 11s. And the other people who joined their rally were 10s, and 10s are lower. And the point is that it is possible for people or players, if they rally together, join together, to win. But again, what's the likelihood of somebody just sitting there letting the rally hit? Probably low to unlikely. But a point is, even though stats might be lower, troops lower, it is still possible to win. And I am showing some of my stats per request of you guys. But what I wanted to show you were two people in 396. And 396. So let me go to 396. I'm going to show you two things. A couple battle reports from them. Also some battle reports. So I'm just going to go to their kingdom. Now they are way at the bottom. What is that? Southwest corner of their kingdom, and you can see how they've configured their hive. And their big guys, there was a big guy here sitting here before, and these were two of their big guys. And if you look here, when you port in, it kicks you out some random place, and you can see here, you're not going to get very close to them. Now, the point is, their stats weren't that overwhelmingly higher than mine, but yet they were able to get me to stop trying to gather from their towers, because they would just sit here and hit me. And so the first point is this configuration. And I know I've seen this elsewhere, but I mean, to have it so stacked like this, I mean, it took work. It took work for them to be able to do this. So this is the first point. The second point were a couple battle reports. And the first report I want to show you is this. So actually I won. I had fewer troops lost. Maybe about the same number of troops relatively. Okay, you can see I won. Okay, and I want to look at, he did something where he was able to beat me. So let's look at his infantry. And this is Archer. Okay, Archer from 396. Okay, so, heavy cavalry on the T12s, infantry, some cabs, and bowmen, mostly T12 bows and lower. So I won. And then soon after, I lost. No, yeah. And let's look. Oh, I lost a lot more troops than he did. That's the first thing. And obviously the buffs didn't really change. He's got me on troop attack. But let's look at his configuration. He didn't change infantry. Didn't change the cav. So I'm very curious what happened, what he did to beat me. Now I did recall my troops. This is at a tower location where we were battling. I did recall troops to refresh it. So 374. And let's see here. 374. Curious. I'm very curious what happened here. Let me check out why he won. So I didn't prepare for this prior, so just keep that in mind. So, okay, I'm going to have a little project for you guys watching. Take a look to see why he won. You see I won here first. Okay. Maybe it's the heroes. Let's take a look at the heroes. Well, he's got a lot of the new heroes going. Oh, he's got me on the new heroes. So, yeah. So if any of you watching can figure out what happened here, that he was allowing me... maybe he was the attacker? Is that what happened? Let's see here. No, in both cases I was sitting on the tower and he hit me. So I'll scan through this report. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and analyze this for time's sake. But I'd like you to see what caused the difference in from this defeat. I thought he had maybe increased his march. Nope. Similar deal here. That I was sitting here, another one of his members hit me first. Again, you see I won here. Okay. So, okay, and soon thereafter, he beat me. So I think here, in this case, he did send a lot more troops than he had the first time. That's one thing. That's one thing for sure. So let's look at this one. This is my defeat. And let's look at his infantry. Very minimal, just the top two tiers, 11 and 12 for infantry. And then cavalry, this about 21K for cav, and then some 40 11s and 100 something for T12s. And this was the now let's look at this report. Okay, and 134, 26, 21, and okay. So, well, one thing for sure is that I think this one he increased his troops. So he had about 410 in his march, and then in the defeat, he had about the same number of troops. So I'm wondering what happened here. This is my defeat. Okay, so you guys see his march. I'm not going to spend time to fine-tune the reports and to look at the difference. But perhaps some of you could, I'm showing you all the stats and reports. So you guys can take a look at it and tell me why this happened here. It's very, I don't know. It's very interesting. Anyhow, hope all of you are having a great conquest. I've been out of town, but then I thought this was something of interest to show. One, for the report, the fact I had better buffs, but yet he beat me. So it's all about configuration. But I don't see what the difference is in between my victory and defeat reports. And then also their configuration here. Very interesting. So, it's a high cost for anybody coming in to gather because they've got to wait a long time or use speed ups. And then they hit, if you're equally or relatively equally matched or even stronger, they'll hit you. You can't leave your troops there. You got to replenish, recall back, and send a whole march. So, this whole time delay, cost, implied cost, waiting, makes people, it's costly just to gather ore. So very interesting. A shout out to you guys. Shout out to all the other kingdoms we were matched with. 396, 419, 505, 441, 361, and 451. Good to see you all. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. All right. As always, thanks for supporting, for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe if you already haven't. And we'll call it a day. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.